Almost all businesses fail in the United States, but there are 6 businesses I'm going to share with you that rarely fail with a 95% success rate or above, according to the US data, which we are going to get directly from the government. We're going to get those businesses to you right now. By the way, my name's Hugh. If this is your first time here, I'm a small business owner. I worked in lean manufacturing and scaled my own business. And then later I applied that skill set to my own businesses, scaled from 0 to a millionaire in 15 months, retired. Now all I do is help my businesses do the same thing. I'm a master of operations, and it is so important because it's the one thing that can take your business from 0 to 1 and sustain it and keep it there. We're gonna get to the video right now. 20% of businesses fail within the first year, according to the US Labor Bureau. Then an additional 50% fail by year 5, and then 80% fail by year 10, which is pretty insane. So we are gonna share with you the ones that don't. And by the way, I'm actually already engaged in 4 of the 6 of these, and about to be in the 5th, and that was just happenstance. So we're gonna get to it. Small businesses need to build confidence, and so a lot of what the Business Wealth Blueprint teaches is continuously making small improvements over time. And you wanna have a lot of wins. Small wins over long periods of time is almost always better than planning, and reaching for massive big goals. So think about that as you are going through. Make sure whatever you do, look into 2-Second Lean or check out more information on Business Wealth Blueprint. But here we go. The very first one that rarely fails with a 93 to 95% chance of staying in business past 5 years is laundromats. And it's getting easier and easier to have laundromats. Generally, you just need to rent or own a building, be in an area that has the demand, which is a lot of areas, shockingly, and you just have utility bills. You can often run this without even any employees. And so there are many ways to do this. They're extremely simple to start. As far as businesses go, they have very little startup costs, right? You're going to have your machines and possibly the purchase of a building. Even in recessions, people still need to wash their clothes, especially if you live in a city that has an older part of town. A lot of the houses back in the day were never designed to actually have washers or dryers. Many apartment complexes don't have washers or dryers as well. So you can have laundromats. And also you could own laundromats in multiple cities. It's very easy. If you have good systems and processes in place, you may not need to actually even be in the same city. You could run it remotely, which is one of the few businesses because of how few employees you actually need to run a laundromat. Now, for the nuts and bolts of running a laundromat, this is one of the businesses that we are already engaged in. So we have several apartment complexes on our real estate portfolio. If the apartment complex is new enough, then great. They each have their own laundry facility in their apartments. But many of the apartment complexes that we buy are very old and they're in old parts of town. And the units are just not set up to ever be able to add laundry. And so a lot of them either already have or we install a laundry mat area. And those are generally coin-operated laundromats. Right now, Lowe's has 2 of them, $1,200 a piece that you can buy and install. So if you have an apartment complex, then you can add that and it becomes a laundromat. But that is just one way to do it. A second one is there are many services that will lease the machines where they operate the machines. You pay utilities. You now have 0 maintenance costs, and then they will service the machines and they will just do a split with you 50-50 on whatever the earnings are. So you will make less, but then you have 0 maintenance, 0 overhead. Very, very little can go wrong. The last thing too is generally you have a coin counter and a cash exchanger, and that's a very common thing to have. But one thing that's critical to note with that is you can also, in the 21st century, not many people have coins anymore or cash. And so they have a lot of app versions now where there are services that you install a little QR code on the machine and it's connected to the internet. So you're gonna need some Wi-Fi, and then people can scan the code, get their app, and now the laundry machine will just start for X amount of time. Now there's a lot less mechanical features that can break. You're not gonna worry about cash exchangers. Many people are actually going, many laundromats now, especially the younger owners, we are going full cashless. So no change, no nothing. Now there's not even a reason to show up. If you automate the system with one of the laundry service companies that do everything for you, and you don't have to have a cash exchanger, you can basically run it for free. You can basically run it with no employees, which is a shocking thing. The next one, and you already heard it in here, real estate, specifically rentals. So a lot of you guys may know my background or my current business is in real estate. And so one of my claims to fame was scaling from 0 to 287 units in 22 months, all 100% owned by me. And we were able to do that with the lean method and manufacturing processes that were applied to a different skill set. However, one of the reasons why it's so recession-proof is because people always need a place to live. Good economy, people need a place to live. Bad economy, people need a place to live. Hugh, what if everybody builds homes and moves into them? Well, people are always moving. There are many reasons not to own a home. Some places are cost prohibitive to own homes. And real estate has an 85% success rate over a 5-year period. In fact, one reason why rentals go belly up because they are over leveraged. So long as you are doing your numbers correctly, you should be able to stay in business a very, very long time. This is from personal experience, having many, many friends and personally making many mistakes. I have yet to see many people ever actually go out of business because of their real estate. Usually it's some other factor that took their real estate down and they had to trade it or sell it to pay off some other active business. Real estate is one of the best ones. Generally, you always have steady income or steady cash flow where it's predictable. You're not going to get super rich from cash flow, but you're always going to kind of know what your expenses are going to be and what your income is going to be. Also, over time, as taxes go up, insurance goes up, you're going to be raising or should be raising your rents. And also, if you're like, oh, real estate, that's a crazy business, that's for super fancy rich people. You do not need much money to get into real estate. There are many ways to do it, no matter what country you're in. And I help people do this every single day. People are reaching out. We're passing them to our resources. You do not need money to get into real estate. You might actually already be in your first rental. You don't even know that. Quick pause with the video. By the way, if you like what you're hearing, we have more information in a free Facebook group below and totally free tools. If you go check out the description, hughcarnahan.com/resources on more resources on how to make money in your business and make money investing. Back to the video. So there's also opportunities for leverage. Either A, in the United States at least, you have what's called an FHA loan. If you were military, you have a VA loan. Then there are also USDA loans. For $0, you could buy up to a fourplex, move into it, and start renting out the other units to offset your rent or your mortgage or fully replace your mortgage and pocket that. If you are in the Midwest, you're probably going to be able to find some markets that can cash flow, meaning that you are making more rent than you are actually owing in expenses. Over time, your expenses will be pegged and stay the same, but your rent will trend upward over a long period of time. Another thing, outside of that, you can force appreciation with real estate, which is a big deal. Many of you guys know and have heard me joke that I own a bunch of terrible, dilapidated houses. Well, I'm normally buying those houses from mom and pops, and then I take those houses and we make them better, right? We're basically flipping them, but instead of selling them, we're holding them. So we're flipping and holding. Now we have them. We go to the bank and we borrow the money back out and we go do it again. Also, the last one is sales. Real estate is one of the few places that you can sell and not pay capital gains tax, or you can defer your capital gains tax. And so, for instance, if I bought a house for $100,000 and it's worth $300,000 and I want to sell it, I'm going to be paying $300 taxes on $200,000. Well, if I 1031 exchange, which is a program the United States government gives to taxpayers because they want to incentivize us, the normal people, to go provide housing for people, it allows us to roll our earnings into a bigger deal. So if I bought the house for $100,000 and I sell it for $300,000, I can take that $300,000 and I have 180 days to go find a bigger property to purchase. I don't get the money up front, but now I can go buy a $500,000 property and use 100% of the profit to go take that next property down. There's more to it than that, but it's pretty good. So real estate is a big one. That is the bulk of my business. Next one on the list is self-storage. Self-storage has a 92% success rate, and there is one threat to self-storage, and it is pretty much self-storage. There's too many people trying to build more self-storage in crowded areas. Now, that does not mean that if you're like, I'm in Dallas and there's too much storage in Dallas. Self-storage is hyper-local. It is not even town by town. It's street by street or parts of streets. So if you are aware of that, there's a very good chance you can buy into self-storage and turn it around. Self-storage has predictable cash flows, very similar to real estate. This is another one I'm in. We just bought a self-storage facility last Friday, and we're super excited about it. It was a mom and pop owner operator, and we purchased it and we were able to turn it around, and we bought it, and the land that came with it allows us to build 3 more buildings. So we got it for a good price. The mom and pops, they were retiring. They didn't want to operate or run it anymore. They did not have any systems or processes in place. They were tired of dealing with it. So we bought it. We are going to systematize it, place an operator, and allow it to make us more money. So self-storage is super fantastic. Another thing, basically you get all the benefits of real estate, but unlike real estate, no one is living there. So you have more legal protections as a business. If you have rental properties and someone stops paying you, depending on what state and jurisdiction you're in, it could be a big deal. If you have self-storage and someone stops paying you, no one's going to come looking for that. You can, depending on what your state is, you basically lock the doors until they pay. After 90 days, you liquidate their stuff, and then boom, you clean out the self-storage unit and you re-rent it back out. So again, predictable cash flows. And there are a lot of levers you can pull with that. The next one, transportation and last mile delivery. This one I am not directly in, but effectively it is what you guys would know as Ubering or DoorDash. There's a 76% chance that there will always be this service that is needed. Why? Because right now, especially after COVID, right now, everyone with e-commerce can pull open their smartphone, order whatever they want, and they will generally have massive billion-dollar companies like Amazon and Walmart and Lowe's get the stuff within a few miles of where you live. But they still needs people to go from their location, from Walmart to houses. Grocery deliveries, Uber, DoorDash, right? People still need to be picked up. People still need things delivered, and they're willing to pay a premium for that. And there's a 76% chance that those services do not go out of business over a 5-year period. These can often also have low complexity. So if you end up having a service, built a company around this, you can own or lease vehicles that have good gas mileage, and you can pick up contracts for people, right? Think if you were in an area and you needed a medical delivery service, you needed to take labs from a place that draws blood to the hospital. Some businesses just need materials picked up and dropped off on different locations. You could be a service that picks up materials from Lowe's and drops them off on a contractor site. While the contractors are all out working, hustling for new jobs, you can just be the person that delivers the raw materials consistently. So again, last mile delivery, there will always be a demand for this. The last one, I am not in yet, but it is coming, and it's coming hard. It's going to be incredible when it gets here. It is senior care and assisted living. Demographic shifts are going to be a major role in the future. Right now, when you think assisted living, a lot of people are thinking about a nursing home, but that's not even necessarily the case. There are many ways to do this, but you should go check out the guys at the RAL Room, Residential Assisted Living, where effectively you take a 10-bedroom house and you turn it into an assisted care living facility. Now, this is going to be kind of blending real estate and a business together, and the numbers are absolutely ridiculous. As of 2025, most people in assisted living facilities are actually the silent generation or the greatest generation. So baby boomers, who everyone thinks are in assisted living, haven't even begun to enter that yet because they're about 70, 71, 72 years of age. Well, 75 is when they start entering these facilities. Well, baby boomers, the largest generation that's ever existed, are about to start needing elderly care services. And this is a great opportunity for not just assisted living, but many services, right? If you're a nursing home, if you want to own a business that has home care, then you will probably have a massive amount of demand coming for the next few years. Not only that, people are living significantly longer. So starting now until the next 20 or 30 years, it's probably going to be in a very good time to be in an elderly care business of some kind. Because of such a large demographic and because people are living longer, they often come with state and federal incentives and programs that are actually paying for the aging population. So you've got almost guaranteed income, and you have a very high demand, and currently there are 7 million beds short in the United States of people right now that need senior assisted living. There's an extreme demand as it exists, and we haven't even begun to enter the baby boomer era yet. So as we move forward in time, be on the lookout for videos on my channel about our stabbings into the senior care and assisted living style. A lot of these are overlooked and seem very boring, but these are companies that you can easily systematize, and you can have a very high value impact with a few levers to pull. So many of them are overlooked because they don't seem sexy. It doesn't seem sexy to own a laundromat. It doesn't seem sexy to ride the silver tsunami as people age, but they're a good conservative estimate that will always have a good break-even cash flow. You may not get the richest from these things, but you will also be safe. And so if you're interested in starting a business, you might look at buying or purchasing some of those and seeing what you can do in your local area to turn them around. If you like this kind of stuff, go check out the rest of my channel. We'll see you there. Thanks so much for sticking around to watch. Please help us by watching this next video.